This is the MDRT Podcast. It can be a difficult task to quantify what charitable involvement means to you. During a recent conversation at MDRT headquarters, MDRT Foundation board members
Adrian Baker from Bristol, England.
Priti Kucheria, Mumbai, India.
shared their most impactful memory and how their involvement has changed their lives.
So I've been involved with the foundation for probably 12, 13 years now as a contributor, and I'm now officer of the foundation. My biggest memory that I'd like to share is back home. There's a children's hospice that I managed to receive a grant for them, and I went to the hospice to present the grant, which was the most amazing experience. So it really showed the power of what MDRT Foundation does. So in a small village in England, they received, I think it was a $7,000 grant, which made a new conservatory for the children in the last 2 weeks of their lives at this hospice. They were able to go out in the sun and have a better quality of life just before they departed this planet. So that was a really moving and amazing experience for me, and just really wedded me to what we do as a foundation for people all over the world.
So I really didn't know. I've been a member for about 18 years now, but I really didn't know much about the foundation until one day, as a volunteer, I was asked to be the speaker liaison for the foundation president, Roblin. So I was the speaker liaison for Roblin, and just being around her for those 2 days, I realized the power the foundation had. And I think that year it was the charity called the Soul for Souls, where they were giving shoes out. And it was amazing that MDRT could reach out to anywhere in the world. And that's when I realized that sometimes you want to do so much for humanity, but as a single person, you really can't do much at all to impact lives. And suddenly I realized that as a leader, as one of the volunteer chairs, I could ask for a grant of, I think, just about $1,000 and choose any charity that I was passionate about. And I came across this organization that made toilets for people in India. And I said, toilets, really? I mean, are there even homes that don't have toilets? And they identified a village where there were no toilets in homes. And so the women, they could not defecate in the open. So they would have to get up early in the morning in the dark and walk 5 miles just to do that, because they didn't have a toilet at home. And just a little amount, as little as $100, could build one toilet. And we were able to give 80 toilets in 80 homes. And the women were crying because they could now just go to a washroom in their homes. So it was so touching that just as its own chair, I could just request MDRT to give that grant, and they simply gave it. So I think the foundation is doing a phenomenal job in touching lives. Now it's up to us to identify these kind of requirements or needs of people, of human beings, and just reach out to the foundation and there to just give their support and change lives to such an extent. So yeah, the foundation is a great place to be involved with, and I feel that from our sides, even if it's a drop in the ocean, it kind of changes you forever when you see.
How have you noticed the impact that your involvement with the foundation has had on you? How do you carry that in your daily life?
Some people say that when they earn a lot of money, they've arrived, like they've arrived at some really good place in their life. And for me, when I got involved with the foundation, started volunteering and got involved with as being a trustee, that's when I arrived, and that's when my life's been at its best. So for me, it's made me complete. It's made me realize what actually I'm on this planet to do, is to do philanthropic giving and philanthropic organizational work. So for me, at the ripe old age of 61, I've suddenly managed to find something that's really made it all worth living for. So changed me dramatically, made me realize that there's an awful lot to do, sure, but also that we've got a great thing to do with the foundation and a great deal of work to do. But it's made the whole journey worth it for me. Yeah.
The foundation has impacted me in a way that I could never think of, because you do charity in life, you do learn, as right since your school days you're taught to give, to share, but I really never understood that impact until I got involved with the foundation. So there are other stories. At the annual meeting, when Mr. Parker was given the check to his organization where he rescued girls from human trafficking, and I realized that it's not just about your little place where you live or your community, but being involved with the foundation, you could touch lives all over the world. And you realize that you're so small. So when my family, when my son and my daughter, when they see how being involved with the foundation has changed me, they feel so proud of me, and they say, "Mom, we could never believe that sitting there in that little office of yours, you could change the life of someone in Africa." So it's overwhelming, actually. I have no words to say how grateful I feel for having the opportunity to be with the foundation. And also when you're raising funds, you're surprised that so many people are ready to just help you and help the foundation and give. It's overwhelming to know that so many people are there to support you, which you never would have known. Your friends and families, you've never asked them for money to give. And you realize there's so much support.
Yeah, and also for me, there's an awareness thing that goes on, because in my own little community, obviously, I got to know about various charities and things locally. The other thing that the foundation does for me is it makes me aware of globally other charities and things that I would never have ever got to know about if, in my own little world. So there's like a global outreach that happens, And for me, when MDRT was set up, it was that if I have a sales idea, I've got one idea. If I tell you, and you tell me, then we've both got two ideas. So that's the basis it was set up on. And I feel similar with the foundation, I've got to know about so many other things and met so many other people. And, when I look back on my business life, I've been in financial services for 38 years now. Certainly the last 10 years has been the best 10 years. And it's almost because I'm doing something more than doing business now. It's almost I'm in the service of something much bigger than me. So that tends to make almost like a guided pathway, and it almost takes you to meet people that you never would meet otherwise, and all in the service of making a better place for other people. So in some way, shape or form, it makes the whole journey almost like you're being escorted along some pathway, which sounds very strange, but that's how it feels. So has it made life easier? No, not easier. It's very testing, but it's made it much more fulfilling, and it's worth everything to do that, I think.
That's the end of this month's episode. If you'd like to subscribe, you can find us on SoundCloud and Spotify at MDRT Podcast. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.